Welcome back to the Elite House. Now, it once maybe considered unintentional or accident, twice coincidence, or three moments. This is another M Cosmos character. You haven't heard of him yet. It's in the Guardians of the Galaxy. The character is called Him. And in the comic books, the body model Sahara, the love god, was the body model towards this character. And he was also offered this role again, but Disney decided to go with another skin tone. Played by William Poitier, who does have, he looks as if he's Nubian Union Station. But this was the original him, or Adam Warlock, the Magus. But I mean, the campaigns was already listed, but Disney decided to go with a lighter skin, or those producers decided to go with maybe race didn't have nothing to do with it, so they claim. The reason, this is interesting though, because there was no problem in the comics, that Adam had yellow mane, gold mane, and Sahara, the love god, decided not to color his mane yellow, bleach it, because his beliefs about that Stigroid stuff, claiming it had nothing to do with racism, but again, his beliefs not sacrificing his soul. He was a body model towards this campaign, and he's also was supposed to sketch to come on the movie, but maybe because of the color of his skin, maybe because of his Arabian descendancy, who could say? But pretend that racism doesn't exist and that this is a fair game. All the cosmic characters of this in the Marvel Comics or DC, they're all slaves or a butler, like Heimdall was a butler, doorkeeper. They're never, or they look like a slave or someone who was beaten up and enslaved. Never a regal position, never the highest god with beautiful mane, beautiful characteristics, and they all have facial hair. Every single one of them, from Don Cheadle's character of War Machine to T'Challa, Black Panther, another goatee and the cloud mane, even Terrence Howard character, or he's disabled, and they all have guns. Cyborg, and they speak without a civil, or they're not seen to be like they never playing a god. Idris Elba was a gatekeeper, like a butler in Asgard. So all the god positions, all the very high potent will be remembered only has a pink skin, snowy skin person. But these already were shot and sketched to come out, but this also got scrapped by Disney, or they claim it was a director or something like that. But this was supposed to be Adam Warlock, but most likely they couldn't have the histories or their generations thinking that a clean-shaven, golden-skinned being is a sex symbol. This is not covered by no of the comic book people on these sites. They leave this out. He's also the body model towards, he did the body model towards Legolas, and also Thranduil in the LTR, and many Marvel characters and comic book characters. His experience is up there. Wonder Woman, Superboy, Otwal. But the only thing he quoted was that racism does exist, and quote by Sahara, the love god, said that racism may exist, but what he did like about modeling towards comic book characters, say John Claude and Silver Surfer, Steve Rogers, was that they'll keep my skin the same, or they'll change it to azul or to and these artists, they see the soul and not the body, or not. So their the artist's perception of him would be seen as that way. And he said that that's what's nice about modeling towards, say, being a body model towards comic books. Like when I was John Claude, quote, that this way that people perceive me. And but so I mean, in that business, they had their different reasons. Got passed up for a labor that said it didn't look African or United Station enough, Nubian enough, and then they went with a Nubian, a whole pink skin mortal. That's an end quote, by the way. They could have any type of reasons, but any cosmic or high power being, they pass up towards a pink skin being. Now, this is usually the way it happens. This kind of absorption. See, they will not copy, say, this. And this was already released, like, many campaigns, but I think they scratched it and went with, this was released long ago. This was out, but it's as if it never came out at all. Probably when I able to find it on the internet, this was supposed to be the model. This was supposed to be the one to play Adam Warlock. They went through all the production and every stuff, but his skin color wasn't accurate, or beautiful, handsome, but racism is still prevalent, and they cannot have their citizens bowing down to someone, a god who looks like that. Now, what's important is this, because Adam Warlock, his name is Warlock as in the Magus. His story calls towards, when this came out, Adam Warlock, his negative side, has this cloud mane, and Adam himself is supposed to be a Hyperboreai. He's supposed to be Adam, which means mahogany skin. And even the story shows that he was created in the story of Enki making Adama, or the biblical, he's supposed to be Adam. And when Jim Starlin and Roy Thomas made this vision of him, he his name was him. When he came out, he was to represent the Hyperboreai humans, with the ones that call United Station type, who has press and flat iron hairstyles, and he's gold copper skin. So that's what they call him in the comics, copper skin. His negative side is a cloud mane, which is like what we call hood like, but he's always been a mahogany skin person. And back then, in the 70s, when they made this, there was a very distinction all the way up until 21, to about three summers ago. There was a distinction between those from Nubians descendancy and Hyperboreai, or Elvish Hodian descendancy, brown skinned people, mahogany skins, Hyperboreai or human, and then there was the cloud mane, the hood type, which is more associated with Nubian style or Geont, and then later on he gets the ponytail. Now this was keeping in the M Cosmos. This is before it was owned by Disney, and this is on Google, so you can see Black Lightning, see the lightning bolt, the cloud mane, and he got his good side has his press and flat iron. He's a champion of living, and it's known that anybody green in a comic book or animation is supposed to be a person of color, from Piccolo to the Hulk to She-Hulk, and even She-Hulk is not played by a human Hyperborea, a person of color. This is what way it's done. You see, this is Adam. He's brown skin, or he's golden copper skin, but the mane is yellow, and that's what they'll change in the modeling process too. From what you gather, they'll just change the hair color only. Well, obviously not violet skins either, but even back then, at least they were aware that violet was wicked. And this is all on Google, so you can see towards yourself, and it's no charge or no problem. And there he is again. You can clearly see that he's not a pink-skinned mortal, but just like you could clearly see that this is the same features, same model, but the mane is yellow instead of ebon. Now, the reason that this was explained is that, see, gold is ebon, black, prior it gets activated, the aura. So black and yellow, or black and gold, is actually the same stuff. Gold is when it's activated. So having gold in historical, having golden mane would be the same as having ebon mane. But they will not copy, say, this image here. They'll copy the product, what came out of for the image, which would be the second dimensional showing of that. And then they'll make the copy from here, not the original source. And then it'll be said that, and this is not any particular skin race. This is more gigantes type stuff, I would think. They'll make the copy from the example, and then they'll say that, oh no, we're just following the yellow mane, the character out of fantasy. We're copying the art, not the subject of the art, which would be this. And this is the way the racism gets by, because they will not say that they copy what the symbolism represented, but they'll copy only what came out, say, on the magazine. They'll copy this. And so they'll, instead of making the skin this, clearly you can see it's the same. Nose, features, and all. But they'll copy the character, the example. And that way they could avoid saying that it was this race. And then, so this is very important, because these are the new history books. The new history books are going to be these movies. And all these characters, supreme and righteous and ethical, beautiful, are going to be, from the elves, they're going to be seen as pink-skinned people with yellow mane or red mane or blaze mane. They're not going to use the source of what they're supposed to represent. And Adam means mahogany, the mahogany man, the mahogany being. Red, the blood red soil, which is red-brown, tawny, mahogany. So it comes out as this. This character itself talks about Adam as if he wants to be like a pink-skinned mortal, and he's ashamed of his type of his race and that kind of stuff. He's militant. This one with the cloud mane is everything but what Adam's not. He's his negative side. The Magus is what he's called, which means Magi or magician. Now, these both characters are going to be played by people in these movies who have no caring about this. And when fandom gets involved, or Google, or those fanatics, they're going to just say that he's some pink-skinned mortal. And he's not Adam of the Bible. He's Adam made in a lab by the Hive, which is the story of Enki, by the way. And they were quick on this back in the 70s. And so it's not the comic book people themselves, it's who brought the rights, and say maybe the ones who make the movies, they're the ones who decide to make sure that all these other races, of like the Aryans, who would be India, that's associated with Nazi. That's associated with Nazi, and we remember that has Nazis now. even though that was never the case. There was people from India. So me and these characters, and this model here actually modeled for Namor, Captain America, Steve Rogers, John Claude of the Guilty Pleasures, Superboy, the even was the Power Princess, Wonder Woman, Deanna, Themyscira, Aqua, but they'll change the hair yellow, keep the skin brown, and keep the features. But this is claimed to not be racist involved. But they still made an action figure for him. Now, who would go through all this trouble if this was all fictitious or fake? And there's the evidence there. You can see the racism for yourself. This is also Adam, the Magus. But is he going to be remembered? Has Sahar the love god? Or has this golden skinned being for all his efforts? Probably not. Probably we're going to remember Adam has what's going to be portrayed by this mortal, Will Poultier. This is not the actor's doing, this is Disney's doing. But this is not, and this is not white supremacy. They did it with Legolas, they did it with the elves, they did it with Steve Rogers, they did it with him, they did it with Arrows of Teton, Love, by the way. And Adam in the comics is the perfect being, the Letos. So when they think of the perfect being, they're going to think of Poultier, of a pink-skinned mortal. Not has this, but this is the Adam of the comic books. 777. Be honest and be truthful. This is him.